So just who is the very best version of you? Hi, my name is Christine L. Conroy. Welcome to Happy Stuff and Fluff. Especially a warm welcome to my new subscribers. This is a channel for women who are getting happy and growing into the very best version of themselves. Just who is that? That's what I want to talk about today as part 2 of intentional living. If you didn't see the first part, I'll leave a link to it here. So what we're talking about the idea, and I'm just keeping it down to this year for the moment. And if this year is going to be better for you, then you have to intend that and then to take the right actions in order to make it so. This year will not be different for you if you don't do anything differently to that which you did last year. Now, I know, and many of you will be thinking, but Christine, I can't possibly think about my intentions when in the UK in particular, we're in full lockdown. But actually, this is the best time to be able to do that. This is the best time. You know, when we go through life and you might have things you want to do and intentions for your life, obstacles are going to come up along the way. And it's those very obstacles that create in you the skills and abilities you need to obviously to overcome those obstacles and then to go on to achieve the very intentions that you've set for your life. You know, the ancients used to, in fact, Stoic philosophers used to create obstacles for themselves for that very reason, because they knew that if they put their minds to overcoming those obstacles, that created the resilience that they were going to need. And I can tell you, it works. And it's true. So, I'm not saying we need to welcome COVID. Of course, I'm not saying that, especially since we have lost lives. I always try to qualify what I'm saying about COVID, because I would hate for anyone to think that I lose sight of the fact that so many lives have been lost. I'm not saying we're welcoming COVID. What I'm saying is we can find our own silver linings in it and use this time to create for ourselves what we want. Remember, you know, your intention is the creative power behind your own personal development. Okay, so last week I asked you to think about the person you want to be this year, and one or two of you struggled with that, and you know, I get it. We don't very often sit down and ask ourselves these questions. Believe me, it will pay dividends when you get there with it, because you don't actually want to change who you are. You just want to become the very best version of who you are. I'll say that again. You don't want to change who you are. You want to become the very best version of who you are. Now, how do we get to the meatiness of that then? Well, if you try this little exercise, and it will help you, and if it does nothing else, it's certainly going to elevate your positivity, that will then enable you to think from a creative standpoint. So what I want you to do, obviously not now, unless you want to just pause the video to do it now, but again, I'm talking about giving yourself some time, and if you are in lockdown or home more than usual, then you will have time to be able to do this. And with pen and paper, think about a time in your life, you know, this now, however old you are, please do this exercise. You are never too old to set new intentions and to set new goals, okay? So think of a time in your life when you feel you were at your best, a time when your life was going really well, when you were full of vitality, when you felt confident and productive, and you really felt on purpose, felt that you were making a difference, or felt that everything in the world was going well for you, whatever that meant, wherever you were. When did you feel those things? You were full of vitality, you felt confident, you were optimistic, you felt productive and on purpose. Think about that time. Where were you? What were you doing? Who were you with? Write it all down. Think about it in detail and remember it in detail. What were you feeling at that time? Now, for me, that would be when I'm teaching a large group in the flesh. That's when I feel at my most productive, when I feel zingy, that's the word I use, when I have so much energy, I'm bursting with it. And remembering the times, especially when I said something and I could see that it switched a light bulb on in someone, for someone, which changed their way of thinking and then went on to help them. When that happened inside, I was mentally punching the air saying, yes, yes, she got it, she got it. And I could see that thing that she got was now going to change her life for the better. And that made my life worth living. Just that one person, when I saw that, and that would be me at my best. So think about when you were at your best doing your particular thing, and then mine that experience. What was it about that experience that made you feel so good? How did it affect your life? What kind of person were you then? What qualities or skills were you using? So for me, in that instance, patience, in fact, it's probably one of the few places where patience comes to the fore in me. It is not one of my top strengths. But yeah, so for me, patience, wisdom, I'm imparting my wisdom when I'm teaching, and curiosity, working out how to get someone to, or how to encourage someone to find their own path, as it were. All of those things come into play, and I use those skills in order to do that. So when you've done that and you've thought about those skills that you were using then, think about now, how can you create that somehow? How can you create it? Now, for me, teaching on YouTube, teaching on my courses, on the blog, all of those things, and the responses I get give me that zingy feeling. But here's the thing. When I'm not teaching in any kind of way, and I'm just living my life and something may be going wrong or whatever, I can actually ask myself, what would full on Chrissy do here? Me being full on is me really living my life at my best. What would that full on Chrissy do in this situation? How would she handle it? And you know what? I always know the answer. I always know the answer. And then the choice is mine. I can do what I want with that and either apply what full on Chrissy would do in that situation or not. That's the choice we have. Okay, so once you know that person and you know who you want to be, act as if you are that person. Simply act, intend to be that person. Start behaving in that way, and your life will go into your desired direction. You have the power through your intentions to change your life. Nobody else has that power, only you. But you have to know who you want to be. You have to know where you want to go or what you want to change. If there are things you want to change, you have to know those things, and then you have to know why you want to do it. And we're going to talk about that the next time. Okay, so watch this video next. Then turn the video off and sit down with pen and paper and think about that time when you felt you were operating full on as your best version. And then do all the things I've suggested afterwards until you come to the conclusion. And then tell me about it in the comments box. Please comment in the comments box. It really helps me it helps me understand you more if we can communicate in that way. But also, when you write these things down to someone else, it seems to make it give you more motivation, if you like, to move in that direction. So that would be great if you would do that. I also need to say that quite a few of you have been asking to join the Facebook group. Now, unfortunately, the Happy Stuff and Clough members group does no longer exist. And that's because that particular Facebook group was set up, I think it was just before or just as Charlotte became ill. And it was just something I couldn't take on at that particular time. I mean, I love the idea, and I am going to do it in the future, because what I wanted it to be is a place where you could go and meet each other and talk about some of the things that we talk about on the channel, and perhaps some of the challenges or things that you just want to discuss. You could discuss there in the Facebook group. But as I say, unfortunately, at that time, I wasn't able to devote the kind of time needed. So I'm sorry about that. But if you go over to my Facebook business page and like it, then you'll be informed there of things like Facebook Lives and when the blog's coming out and all of those kind of things, or just go to the website. You can sign up for all of those things there. That would be great if you could do that. Okay, so that's it for this week. Yeah, I know, lots of upside downy things happening in the world at the moment, in the US as well as in the UK. Don't let it take you away from your purpose and your life. Set your own agenda and live your life on purpose. We'll be talking about that too. Okay, I'll stop talking now and I'll see you next time. And until then, remember that you are getting happy and growing into the best version of yourself. Can't wait. See you next time. Bye-bye.